Welcome back to the It's Bigger Than Me podcast. I'm your host, Molly Gomez. We are going to be diving into part two with the VA USA founders, Mary Elaine and Brett Baker. These two, the minute I met them, which was from a divine connection on LinkedIn, I knew there was something different behind the heartbeat of this business. When you're an entrepreneur, whether you're listening to this podcast and you are an entrepreneur or you're not, you think differently naturally. And we want to solve problems because we see that there's a problem. I have a passion for this solution. Let's create it. And that's exactly what they did. There is such a need inside of the military community for spouses to find employment, but it goes so much deeper than that, so much deeper than that. And this is why I wanted to be able to give them a part two inside of the It's Bigger Than Me show, because there is just so much behind the scenes, underneath the surface of these two, for people to truly see the kingdom work that they are doing. And that is one of my biggest objectives on this show. So you can really see the heart behind the mission, the movement, the business. So we're going to jump into part two. I know you're going to absolutely just fall in love with them even more and probably even think, how can I share what these two are doing to really be able to bring such an incredible solution into the military community? Let's check out part two. All right, welcome back to part two. I hope you had a chance to listen to part one. It's so good. Mary Elaine, Brett, I am obsessed with your guys' story, and really for people to hear the heartbeat of just what you have in your hands and what you're doing for military families, what worked for you, and now how it's just spreading and being such a blessing. A ministry, a mission field. It's so good. And, coming off the last episode, we were talking about just how there are stories inside of your organization that have impacted you. Everybody always thinks like other lives are going to get impacted, but the ones who build it, there are ones that really move you. And you're like, wow. Like it, and you even said it in the last episode, Mary Elaine, where it's like, oh, I can get overwhelmed by all the emotions of like, wow, I can't believe this environment did that. Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, Lord, I can't believe you chose me to be able to facilitate this. I know you're being like seen throughout all of it, but we just get to feel his heart for other people and what we do. And that came across so beautifully in the last episode in part one. So coming into part two, I know a lot of people are probably wondering, like, what's the vision? Like, what are we doing here? And Brett, you're up, visionary. Like what does that look like as far as where you see this going with what you guys have built?
So as far as the company itself, we're seeing the fruit. And so right now, it's just how do we do more of what we're already doing? How do we grow our mission field, which is our people? Because every new person we get through the door is a new person that's exposed to chaplaincy and marriage retreats and Bible studies. So one, how do we scale? How do we bring in more clients so I can hire more people? The demand for military spouses work is huge out there. They need jobs. But we're kind of moving into this new kind of transition period where we think we've proved the concept. Like it's worked in our business. So now we feel we should be sharing it. Our goal is to inspire other business owners to do more, to love their people deeper, to push more ministry efforts. And ultimately, what we would love to see more business owners surrendering their business to God, because this is not Mary Lane's, this is not mine. We are stewards of this organization. And about 2 years ago, God put something on my heart that became our 10-year vision. And our 10-year vision is we want to be an industry leader in creating kingdom culture in a remote environment. And it's been, that's been the challenge that we have faced coming in. Part of our mission statement is how do we build community with people that almost never physically interact, that are moving all over the country, and that in many ways are very isolated, both through their profession and through the military lifestyle. And I think we're moving into the next phase of chasing that is, hey, let's share what God has been doing in our business and try to inspire and equip other people to do so, which happened today. Mary Elaine gave a webinar with a group on our freedom framework and how we love and track it and manage it. So I think that's really what God's calling us to, at least for these next few years, is share the work that I have done through you. And hopefully we inspire one or two more people to dig deeper.
I love it. You're seeing the fruit, and so keep doing what you're doing. You're sharing that with other people. You're sharing the blueprint, which is so needed because we always gravitate, or I should say, a lot of us will gravitate towards companies. It's like they have a really good culture. They pour back into their people. They're not just depleting and saying, "Do this for me. Here's how we can serve you," which is truly just Jesus at the core of like, how can we serve you as you're serving other people? And it's just this well-oiled circle of everybody just loving on each other because so often life just, I mean, like, oh, I'm going to take that, I'm going to suck that out, like, thank you very much. And it's just transactional across the board. But you guys are not just transactional, not even at all. It's transformational. The environments that you put together, how you pour into your people. And I totally see it. I see the vision of being the industry leader. That's why I was like, I know that these two need to be on this podcast and this needs to be shared as many times as possible because people want to do business with people like you. People want to be able to be attached to visions that are bigger than themselves, especially being kingdom related. And Mary Elaine, I know where I'm going next will definitely kind of tap on your area of expertise of when we connected, you asked me, who do you know of experts that can come in and pour into our people? Because we have, whether it's like weekly or monthly meetings, or I can't recall, but people that can pour in, whether it's, faith, family, fun, fitness, marriage, like really just pour into them as people. Where most companies are like, here's how you can pour into yourself professionally. So the bottom line always grows, yada, yada. But you guys are like total opposite, even though, of course, we always want the bottom line to grow, more clients, all of that. But you pour into what matters most, which is the people. Talk about that a little bit and what sparked that and what does that even look like for people inside of your organization or maybe even people listening? How can they get involved to help out?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what you just mentioned, you said faith, finance, family, fitness, and fun. Those are the five fundamental pillars in what we call our freedom framework. And so, the term freedom came from, it's what you experience whenever you have a healthy balance and you're experiencing freedom, let's say from finance, right? The opposite of financial freedom is being in debt and not knowing how to steward your money and feeling like you have this burden every day. So we feel like if people experience freedom in each one of these pillars, that these invisible weights that are really weighing heavy on them in life can be lifted.
Mm.
And so, one of the ways that we started to really lean into doing that is obviously, I am not a financial expert. I am also not a health guru. And I know that those people exist out there. So, let me just go find them, or God will just provide them and cross my paths. And we can say, hey, can you please give the gift of your time and your talent and just share with our people for 30 45 minutes and allow some Q&A at the end. That has been one of the biggest hits in our company. Our people are loving it. They are showing up. I was shocked at the topics that very niche topics and things that people came in from all over the country like, hey, I got this talent. Can I share that? At the turnout and the response that they had. And we always send out an engagement survey every year, and they said, hey, we want more of that. So if you have a gift, you're an expert in something within those pillars, I would love to meet you and see if you would be blessed by being a blessing.
I'm sure you're going to get people being like, how can I serve? How can I serve? I know I've sent like multiple people your way and there's more coming. I'm like, wait until you meet these two. They will be like, what else can I do to serve? Because there are so many people out there willing to serve, and especially if they know the fruit of the organization. And it's very evident that you guys have rich, like abundant, like dense fruit. There's so many people out there where they have fake fruit. Looks good on the outside, but it's plastic and hollow. And that's the world. The world just has all this, like, just aesthetically pleasing fruit. But we're over here, we want the real stuff. And you guys have that. And the way that you pour into your people, so then they get filled and they don't feel like they're coming out of depletion. That's just going to keep spurring on into their children,
Yeah,
into their family, when they walk
Mhm.
into the grocery store. I mean, whatever that may
that's
be.
right.
And so I love that they want more of that because it drives that hunger. So what does that look like as far as like, expanding, which I don't know if you do have plans. I'm assuming, as far as like how you serve the people in your organization, just to make sure that they, whether, obviously you feed people physically if they need it, but just getting fed all around because you really do care about all these things for them.
Yeah, I would say some of the key things, I think that's what you're asking for. Like, what are the other ways that you do this within those pillars?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so within faith, some of the key things that we implemented are chaplaincy. That was actually one of the very first things that we implemented in our company. And that back in 2021 was when we implemented that. And last year alone, in 2025, she had over 220 one-on-one sessions with my team. And I
Wow.
have, roughly 70 people on my team. So that's amazing usage. That's not how it always used to be, but that has been one of the most impactful things. And the common misconception about chaplaincy is that it's only for people of faith or that they are there to just preach. That's not true. One of the military has chaplains, for example, and anyone can use it. And the chaplain's job is not just to bring that person scripture or pray with them. They can certainly do that. Anyone can come to a chaplain. So that's been huge for us for any concern. Um, we have regular Bible studies and we do devotionals with our chaplain that she leads. For family, he mentioned marriage retreats. Our goal is to double the amount of marriage retreats every year. I just want, hey, let's do double. Let's do double. So we just keep going. We're going to see. And we also did couples Bible studies last year for the first time where we actually got to meet the spouses and they could come on. That was huge. Financial coaching. That is something that we just started at the end of last year. We got a third party to come in and they offer everything from just basic budgeting skills all the way to estate planning. And they meet with the couple or the individual and just meet them where they're at. What's the current struggle? That's big. I know that was a huge source of friction in our marriage for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I want to be clear, all these things that I'm mentioning, they're not unique to military families. These can resonate with any human walking on this planet. So we just know that those issues can be exasperated within the military community. But I bet you these would resonate with any team member in any organization. And then fun, we just look for opportunities to how can we, this is like fitness and fun. For example, we have a team member who is huge into fitness. And so we're going to do live workout sessions once or twice a month with her leading it on a Friday morning. We just all log on and we just hold each other accountable to taking care of our bodies and movement, which is hard to do, harder than you think when you work from home. So yeah, I hope
and fun should never be overlooked. Like we as adults, we don't have fun enough. We don't play enough. And for us, fun's a huge challenge because we're in a remote environment. Man, if we had everyone physically on site, we would get real creative. And there's so much you can do, but we just don't have enough fun as adults. And we have a play circuitry built into our system. So that's a really easy one to tap in. It's like, and you just a basic survey, just talking to your office, like what's something we can do to have some fun? Because that's a great starting point to start building a little bit of camaraderie. When your interaction at work isn't based on work anymore, then some of the walls can start coming down. People can start actually getting to know each other.
Yeah, relationships are built around laughter, around creating memories together. So I think the fun is how can we create opportunities to make memories together? And we oftentimes, the best friendships are formed because we experience that together, and now we have this bond.
I love it. And Brett, it's so funny. You like beat me to it because I was like, the fun part where you're absolutely right. People don't. They're so focused on work environments. It's like, here's the data. We need to be able to increase. And you guys do a holistic approach, WHOLE, like whole, like the whole thing. I love it because it really does pour into human beings just as human beings, like not as a VA, not as an employer, whatever. It's just who you are and you need that. And we get that overlooked. And as you said, a lot of these families are feeling so much stress. And it's like you're providing so much where they would have to probably be spending a lot of money, a lot of time searching the right environment, proximity, all of that to find these speakers to pour into them or find this fun or find an environment that does even a fraction, doesn't like even my pinky nail of what you guys are doing to like inside of their lives and how that ripples and just flows out. So I absolutely love that. And I love that we camped so much time on this because it matters. How you pour into your people, how you steward the vision, how you steward the gift. You're not trying to be like, where can we like automate certain things where a lot of people are, which automations are great in some regard, but you're bringing so much human element into it in a remote environment, like you keep saying, which can be very challenging to do. But it's like for both of you, challenge accepted. You guys have already overcome so many challenges in your life, and you're like, how can I make this even better for the person on the other side? So I have no doubt after people listening to this that you're going to have more VAs, you're going to have more people being like, how do I have you inside of what I do, whether it's your system or whether it's your VAs or what have you, because people want to do life. They want to build things with people like you. And that's why I knew that you had to come on the show. So I would love to either one of you, if there's anything else you want to share, whether it comes to the vision or even just talking about how it all works. You know, what makes your agency or your company different from other VAs? Obviously, outside of the obvious that you're having military spouses, like couples or spouses, I should say, come in and be able to be a part of this. But talk about that a little bit because some people might be like, well, what makes you different from the one that I'm already using?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, first and foremost, we are not a nonprofit. It may sound culturally that we are not. We are a for-profit company. We are very careful about who walks through our doors, both ways, from our clients that we work with and with our team members that we pull on. We put every team member through quite an extensive, I've heard from multiple people that I have never been through an application process this thorough and intense before. And that it two key reasons why. One, our culture is very important to us, providing an excellent service going above and beyond what is industry standard out there is our top one of our top priorities. And the clients that we serve are either faith or purpose driven companies. So we don't just work with Christians, we work with people who are very values driven and care about making a social impact. And that could be a for profit or a non for profit. And so I know that they're going to treat our team really, really well. And so, in order to do that, I have to make sure that our team members are going to be delivering a service with excellence and also going to appreciate and get a lot of energy from working with a client that also has that same heart and those values. So, how we vet is very thorough, lots of assessments, lots of rounds of interviews before they are eligible to even match. We call them matches with one of our clients. So, we have this team in a talent pool, and then we have clients coming in that say, hey, I need help, I'm drowning. And so we learn everything that we can about you as a client and make sure that we understand what's most important to you. And then we go to our talent pool and we start um, eliminating individuals down to who are the most compatible people that are going to work best with you. No warm body with a warm body. And it's not just, oh, they can do that skill. They have this skill. There are multiple layers of what we're looking here because we know that what our clients want and our team members want is a real relationship. They want to know that we're going to be invested in each other, and that we want to grow together. And so that takes so much. It's like science and art, with that of finding those right candidates. And then ultimately they get to pick each other. So we help narrow it down, but that's also unique. They get the client and our team member get the final say. We call it a match. And then we support you with coaching all throughout your journey. You're never alone in navigating or reinventing the wheel. That's key here is we don't want either of you to have to feel like you have to reinvent the wheel when we have done this 1,000 times over and we have playbooks and videos and resources and best practices. So you get a dedicated coach that holds your hand and makes sure that all of your needs are being met and that a clear pathway of onboarding and training and delegating and communicating is being taken care of. Because that can be so overwhelming when you hire a new team member. So we're here to help alleviate a lot of that for you.
I love it. And there's nothing, and from my vantage point of being an entrepreneur and needing different aspects of my business covered, delegation, I mean, there's nothing worse. And it's like, oh, I have to like hire again because there wasn't a thorough process in the beginning because you're so quick to like, I just need this off my plate. Here you go. Sounds great. Check, check. But you only do surface level checks. So it's like, it's definitely worth it. And I love that you guys do it worth it with just really being able to dig in on the front end. And this year for me, as we're recording this, it is the year of delegation for me. And so I'm writing things out. And so I'm definitely going to be probably one knocking because some of the people that I have on my team, I'm like, oh, you can't do it. I know where to go. So I'm very much looking forward to that, which again, for a business owner, it's such a breath of fresh air. Doesn't mean it's always going to be, a perfect match, but definitely more thorough because you're taking the time. And that's what people, it's like you kind of have to slow down a little bit to speed up because you don't want the wrong match
Yep.
and then redo it. Like I've had to do that multiple times and it's painful. I just don't want to do it anymore. So
It is.
it's such a blessing that you guys are doing that.
Yeah, it is. And I think too, for business owners, they'll come to us just desperate. So we are here to help them not make those rash decisions when they're in those moments of desperation. We're going to ask you the tough questions. We're going to challenge you and make sure that you're not making an emotionally charged decision. And also, we're here to see things that you may not see. So we're here to help you reveal those things to you and make sure that you're not overlooking something.
Mm.
That's our job. That's our responsibility, and we love doing it.
That, I mean, you literally took the words right out of my mouth. One of the biggest things is I'm not a tech person. And so it's like, I'm just like, am I even explaining this right? Like, does this even make sense? And then it's like, I need the like person in the middle of like, here's what I think, here's what I need. I probably missed out a whole section. Fill in the blanks for me. Like, am I getting this right? Because it takes
Yeah,
different brains,
even
right?
the order in which you delegate is so important.
Mm,
You may think I want to get this off my plate. Well, there's some building blocks to be able to get there. Like, let's not put the cart before the horse. And so we help you think through what are the actual milestones and what's the order in which this needs to happen in order to make sure we can get to that ultimate goal. So we help build that out for you.
mm. I love it. That, yes, music to my ears, and probably a lot of other people that are listening. It's just like, where have you been? That was my, like when I met y'all, I was like, where have you been? I was like, I'm so glad that this is a thing, and we've been able to meet. So as we wrap up today, I'd love to hear from both of you. Was there anything else you would love to leave us with? Of course, all the information below to get connected with them, whether you want to possibly, be in this environment to work in this environment, you need these VAs in your life. I'm sure everybody's like, I need a Mary Elaine and Brett in my life for real. Because I definitely feel grateful to know both of you. But all that to say, you'll find everything in the show notes. But any parting words or anything else either of you would like to share before we wrap up here?
I would like to, as a gift, I know a lot of what we said today may feel good and you're inspired, but I also know that the practical application of like, well, where do I even start with doing this can be overwhelming and be a wall keeping you from just going and doing. So I have a free gift I would like to give, and it is literally everything that we've done. There's no secrets here. There's no gatekeeping here on how to intentionally care for your team in a systematic and consistent way. And that will be included. And I'm so happy to be able to give that. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
And I would say if you have a business that has people in it, then your greatest responsibility is stewardship of those people. It's not products, it's not services, it's not P&Ls, it's people. And your business has a greater purpose than just a product or a service. It can be a tool to impact generational change if you decide to use it that way and you intentionally pour into your people. We are called to do more as leaders, I think, than a lot of us are trying to do. And I hope in some small way that our story can inspire other people, because I want you to see some of the fruit that God's putting in our business. And it gets you up. It gets you up in the morning when you don't want to go to work. It gets you through the hard nights, the fires that you're putting out, knowing that your people are better off because of your stewardship. It's an amazing feeling. And I believe God's putting treasures in heaven when we follow that. When we stay in him and abide in him, he's going to show us fruit. And I want that for more people. I want them to have more purpose in their business and in their occupation and their vocation.
I love that. And your fruit, like I've mentioned, like it's very evident between the two of you. And I love that you're like, it doesn't have to just be our fruit. Like you keep passing those seeds on to everybody in your organization, anybody that's listening to this episode, anyone at all. I can just imagine you're probably very similar, if not the exact same as you are here, as you are in person, because your heart just speaks. Your heart speaks and how you want to serve. And I just love the word stewardship because so many people they get focused on stewarding sometimes. I mean, yes, stewarding all things is great, but like we have to keep the main thing the main thing. And if people are the lifeline, like you said, not P&Ls, people. I love that. That's such a like, I might have to take that. It's not P&Ls, it's people. They just are like, oh yeah, people are a dime a dozen. They just kind of like scoop past. Like there will be another one. There'll be another one. Like let's not treat human beings as just like a line item on a spreadsheet, right? Somebody that's just going to help this bottom line grow. Let's treat them as the amazing beings that they are, God's highest form of creation. Pour back into them because out of the overflow, everything's going to benefit. How they work, how they operate, how they interact with people, of course, how they represent your company and represent you, which is huge. And so it's just amazing to see what you guys have created. So as they've mentioned, they have that amazing free gift that's below. And even, you guys had mentioned that if people are looking to like, how do I get something like what you've done implemented into my business to help my people? Reach out to them. That is incredibly generous of you and just it's kingdom, right? Like this wasn't just birthed through you two, just for you guys to hold on to it and gatekeep when the world's like, okay, behind this wall, behind this pay price and behind whatever, like you can have all the secrets. When really, for those who really want to implement it, you're like, here it is. Now it's up to them if they really want to like do the work to get that going. Because that's where the real work begins. It's not clicking and getting the free gift. It's actually like implementing it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you both of you for just being examples. You talked about this earlier. God wants us to be in excellence, and you two definitely exude that, an incredible form of excellence, so people can see an example, a godly example of how to pour into their people, how to just leave everything better than what they found them, and to really just have Him at the center. So, for anybody that's listening, because I get this question a lot, how do I bring God into what I do? Just ask Him and allow Him to come in, and He will show you. Also, put yourself in environments where people are doing the same, and then you will be amazed of how just the fruit tastes, it looks, it just is so much better. So thank you both for coming on the show today and sharing your hearts with us, and congratulations on everything that you've built.
Thank you so much, Molly. This has been wonderful. Thank you
for having us, Molly.
Before you go, remember that your story is so much bigger than you. If this episode encouraged you, maybe challenged you, or even had you feeling that you're not alone in this process that we call life, share this with a friend who needs to hear this message today. You can go ahead and connect with the guest that we had on today's show, or even myself. You'll find all those links to connect in the show notes below. And just know, God is using even your voice to be mentorship to somebody else. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you next time.